Hey there, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to talk to you about dealing with those helicopter family members, friends, relatives, however you want to call it. I want to talk about this because it's so important and sometimes this can run us away from our own job. So stay tuned to hear what I have to say on this topic. So when it comes to being in the healthcare field, we already know we run into all different types of personalities, all different types of leadership styles from management and so on. But one of the things that we also encounter that isn't really talked about a whole lot is dealing with those micromanager type or helicopter relatives. So, in terms of what that means, a helicopter family member is someone who is on constant watch of every little thing that you do. It could be the simplest thing as to why did you put their hand on the right side instead of the left side? Something as stupid or silly or minute as that. Basically, someone that nitpicks everything, and if you're not doing it exactly how they do it, then they consider you wrong. And so from that point on, they question everything that you do. Even if you look at the patient a certain way, they question why you're looking at them. That might be a little bit over the top, but hopefully you kind of get the gist of what I mean. So when it comes to dealing with these helicopter relatives, what should you do? Especially if you're a newer nurse or even if you're more experienced in the field. Anyone can use this advice. So here are a few tips that I think are worthwhile using and or contemplating when dealing with these type of family members. For one, I work in the home health setting, so I encounter this a little bit more so than maybe somebody else in a long-term care facility or hospital would, but I can't speak on that because I have yet to work in any of those facilities as of yet. All right, the first thing I would do in terms of dealing with a helicopter family member, consider how long you have been there. If you are just starting out there, meaning you've been there less than 3 weeks, they may be still trying to get to know you and they may not see you very often, so they're trying to get to learn, how you function and how you do things. But if you get the sense that, this person want you to follow exactly to a T how they do things, and if you don't, they treat you differently, then yeah, that's a sign of someone who is gonna be a helicopter family member because they can't even realize that you can get the same result by doing different ways or having different techniques. Another thing you want to consider when you know that this person is definitely a helicopter family member is consider talking to another family member and asking them, hey, is this normal? Am I doing something wrong to make this person feel like they can't trust me? What is it? Even consider asking, hey, how can I deal with this when she does X? And maybe you can mitigate the situation that way. Third is always going to be a go-to. Consider leaving that job. Consider leaving that case. Like I said, for me, I'm home health. So if I leave a case, then I can always go and find another one. A fourth is if you work in a home health agency, consider talking to the office. Ask them to give you some pointers on how to deal with it. Ask them, is that their usual? Ask them what other nurses work there, how they deal with it. Ask them to maybe even speak to the family member on your behalf. If you don't work in a home health agency, speak to a supervisor. Do the same things. You can ask your supervisor for their advice. What do you think? How I can handle this situation? Is there something I am missing? Etc. Try to communicate your way to get a better feel if this person is truly a helicopter family member, and maybe even how you can turn the situation around if you like the job, that is, and if you're not willing to just up and walk away. Another is find support groups that are in your line of work. So for me, I'm home health pediatrics. I have joined a group that is full of home health pediatric nurses, and we share all sorts of problems and issues that we run into. And it's so fun to see what other people are going through and how they handle it, because you kind of get a laugh out of some of these cases and situations. And sometimes you run into situations or cases that you hear about that are just so sad, and just you're like, how can they even treat the nurse this way when this nurse is trying to do everything that she can? Those are just some of the ways that you can handle being with helicopter family members, and how you can either exit left or try to handle the situation to where they are not micromanaging you. I hope these tips really helped you. Please let me know in the comments what you think below, and tell me, have you ran into or dealt with helicopter family members, and how did you deal with it? Let us know.